Welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of My Very First Home. Today we have a special guest. You've known them. It's Crestview Floors. And this time we're going to be talking about trends for 2021. We're just starting the year. You are just in time to choose tiles for your spring and summer renovations. And I would love to bring here Cole and just talk all about trends and colors and styles. Hi, Cole. How are you?
Good. How about you, Jessica?
Good.
Thanks for
Nice to
having me.
see you back here in my very first home.
Anyway, my name's Cole. I'm design consultant sales rep over here at Crestview Floors. Crestview Floors is a locally owned and operated flooring and ceramic company here in Northeast Calgary, Alberta. So today we're going to talk about trends with tiles. And I guess I get started off here with one of my favorites right now. It's the large format tile. It's huge in Europe right now, and it's just starting to take off in North America. I'm seeing a lot of this done on fireplaces, backsplashes, kitchen countertops, and it just looks phenomenal. It just adds really luxurious look to the space.
I love it. Now, that format that you have, is that the maximum size that one can get?
It's not the maximum size. So most of these tiles start off in the 24 by 24. And then they go up to the 24 by 48. And then when you start getting the extra large porcelain slabs, you start getting into the 4 by 8 and 5 by 9 formats. And with those slabs, they're really great for feature walls and your backsplashes and your countertops.
Yes. Now I'm seeing a lot of these larger format tiles, and I think it just gives them that more modern look, but also seamless.
Yeah.
Now, are there any special considerations that clients should have when thinking, it looks great, right? It looks great in my kitchen as a backsplash, maybe even in my fireplace, my shower, but what are the considerations? What things should I know before going that route?
So something to consider with these large format tiles, once you start installing them on places like your kitchen backsplashes, you will have to take into consideration, you will have to do some templating to mark out your electrical outlets and anything like that. Since these slabs are so large, you want to template those out, cut them out before they apply the slabs to the wall. And the larger the format, it tends to be a little bit more of a trickier installation. So we are going to be paying a little bit more for installation. There's something else to consider with this as well. But a nice thing to consider about this product too, it is of course with slabs, so it's very durable, very hard. It's going to last you for a really long time.
I was going to ask you about that. Is this just for walls, or can it be used on, vertical surfaces, or also on horizontal surfaces?
It can be used on both vertical and horizontal, and I'm just now starting to see these used on countertops too. It's another great option versus your granite or your quartz or your marble countertops. You get pretty much the same look, just as durable, just as hard, and pretty much for a fraction of the price.
I mean, the one you have in the middle, the black and white, this
one's one of my favorites.
Beautiful. It almost looks like it's a marble, slab that I can use on a countertop.
Yeah, for sure. And it's got a lot of really high contrast. It's very dramatic. It's definitely a showstopper if you were to do something like that on your countertops in your kitchen, for sure.
Okay, so I can use it on a countertop. That's awesome. That's awesome. Is this now? These are trends. Are they coming via Europe? Is that where we're seeing the use of these bigger, larger format tiles?
That's typically how the trends usually flow from Europe over to North America. This stuff is really big in Europe right now, especially Italy. And it's just within the past couple of years made its way over to North America. So we're really trying to push this stuff because we really think it's a really neat product.
I love it. I love it. Okay, what else should we know? Do we have to know something else about the larger format tiles, or can we move? But what do you recommend we do?
I think we pretty much got everything under control. We can move on to terrazzo right now.
Very good.
So just kind of moving on from the larger format tiles. What I'm seeing right now too is the terrazzo tiles seem to be really big right now too, kind of a throwback to the 60s. What terrazzo is, it's composite material, usually composed of particles of marble, granite, quartz, glass, metal. It's really, really adaptable, got a lot of colors and variations in it. Just a really neat alternative to your regular porcelain tile. So something like this one, the Venice Villa from Surtec I got right there, a matte finish. It kind of gives that look of a mixed composite material for you.
Mm-hmm. And my question is, if I were to step on these terrazzo tiles, do they feel like it's ceramic tiles, or do they feel more like more vinylish, more softer to the touch?
I would say in the matte versions, they're more of a softer touch. It almost reminds me of like a soapstone or something like that.
Yeah.
But when you start moving into the polished versions, you're going to get more of like a polished porcelain feel, like a hard surface feel. If you're doing something like this in bathrooms, I definitely recommend the matte finish. It's just a nice soft finish and reduces the hazards, slip hazards in the bathroom.
In the bathroom, did you say?
Sorry, it reduces the slip hazards in the bathroom when you go with a matte finish as versus a polished finish.
Got it. Very good. Now you mentioned the word 60s, and I think that's very appropriate. I think that's where I used to see more, like in the 70s style. But you mentioned the 60s. So why are we bringing all these back into the 2020s? What's behind this?
I think what they're trying to do right now is go back and see what worked back in the day and what we really liked, and trying to incorporate that in kind of a more modern design theme nowadays is what I'm really seeing. So you take something that's kind of classic like the terrazzo and mix it with something that's really modern. You can kind of combine the two and create a really nice modern.
I can see that. How about colors and sizes for the terrazzo tile?
That's another nice thing about it too, is it's pretty much unlimited. I've got formats anywhere from a 12 by 12 all the way up to the 24 by 48, and your color compositions are pretty much unlimited, just because it is a composite material that's mixed together quite a few different materials.
Okay, so if I was a client and I'm deciding between ceramic tiles and the terrazzo that you have here, is there anything that I should know before I make a decision?
So your ceramic tiles, if you do chip those, it's not the same color all the way through, so you're going to see chips. With the terrazzo, it's the same material all the way through, so if you chip, you're not really going to see it as much as you would with a ceramic tile.
That's very important. And it can go in any kind of surface as well?
Any kind of surface, yeah. Walls and floors, fireplaces, backsplashes, that's great.
Wow, I love the versatility. Awesome.
Nice.
Okay, what else do you have for us?
So Jessica, we'll move on to the handmade vintage tiles over here. I've got some right here. The really nice thing about these is they got a lot of high variation in color tones, and just add that really authentic vintage look that everybody seems to be going after nowadays. And a lot of really neat colors too. Everybody seems to be going after the colors nowadays too.
Can you bring him up to the camera so people can see? I'm gonna remove myself. You can see the movement of the color. Would you agree with that?
Movement of the color and quite a bit of variation in them too.
Because I can see the texture, I can see the light, the shadows. Move one way and then it's gonna give you this different color.
Yeah, it's very dramatic, very dynamic. And then I've got another board here that just shows the colors that the manufacturers are starting to come out with right now.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So yeah, very, very dramatic. Definitely adding some color to your space.
Beautiful, beautiful. Talk to me about the use of these handmade tiles then.
When I'm seeing these, I'm seeing a lot on the kitchen backsplashes, shower back walls as a feature wall, just add a little bit of punch of color into the room. Say the back of niches in the showers, just add a little bit of punch of color. Anywhere in the house where you're looking to add a little bit of color.
I can see that. So backsplash, walls, are they making these also for tiles, for floor tiles, or is it just strictly walls? And
we're now only seeing these kind of vintage ones just in wall tile for now, considering that they have quite a bit of texture and movement on them. I wouldn't recommend them for the floor. They'd almost be like a trip hazard. But I'm sure within due time, the manufacturers will come up with something that's complementary to these. It kind of gives you the same color variation. I'm
sure. Most of the ones I saw were in the kind of the subway format, but like what was that, 2x4? I think.
Yeah, more of a 2x8 is what we're seeing right now. Yeah, and to switch it up a little bit too, and kind of move away from your typical 50-50 or 1/3 offset subway pattern. What I'm seeing now that's become really popular is people are doing the horizontal straight stack or the vertical straight stack. Once again, kind of a throwback to the 60s, if you kind of recall.
Yeah, we're all going back to the vintage look.
Yeah.
60s and 70s. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, we've talked of the larger format. We've talked about terrazzos. We talked about handmade tiles. What else do you have for us?
What I'm finding right now too is the monochromatic color schemes seem to be really big, and what that means is it's just taking one color and working with various tones and shades of that one color. You see a lot of that with these handmade vintage ones because they have a little bit of variation. We're all working with the same color tone. And then I've also got the Surtec bricks right here too, and you can kind of see they all kind of fall within the same color family, but they're all slightly different in tones, creating a monochromatic color scheme.
Very nice, very nice. And I see that you also have them in different formats.
Different formats too. So these right here, these are a 4x8, and then our handmade vintage, these are 2x8s, and then I've got 2x10s right here. So there's quite a bit of different options with your formats with these.
I keep seeing the subway tile format. I think you're going to talk to us about how to make these this installation more unique and still make it timeless, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah. You can never go wrong with the 50/50 1/3 offset subway. But once again, just going back, if you wanted to switch it up, trying to create a unique timeless feel, you could always flip them other sides or flip them horizontally and just do a straight stack, and you kind of get the same classic feeling.
Yeah, and I was with a client choosing finishes for their new home at the Developers Design Center, and she was asking me the same question others have asked. Do I choose subway tiles because everyone uses them, and are they going to expire at one point? What is your own take about subway tiles? Can we still use them safely and, install them in our homes and in 5 years? Are we going to have to take them down and completely upgrade them because everyone's tired of subway tiles?
Honestly, Jessica, Subway's been around forever and it's not going anywhere. It's just a classic style. If you want to switch it up, you can play around with your grout colors or play around with your different formats as opposed to your regular 3x6 subway tile. You can go into something a little bit more funkier like a 2x10 or something like that. And then if you even wanted to switch it up even more, you could use your typical subway tiles and do, you can do a herringbone like this. This is a 3x6 herringbone right here.
Yes.
And it just adds a little bit more interest with your typical 3x6 subway tile.
Absolutely. So that's your typical tile, just installed differently.
This is your standard builder subway tile, just installed in a herringbone.
Yeah. I think people should know that, installation may increase a little bit when you're doing that, but it's worth the different look, and you're still staying classic and not, it's not going to expire in a few years from now.
That's just it. Like it's never really come or gone. It's just always been installed. Yeah.
Very good. I think you have one more for us. Is it the penny round tiles, or what
I'm just going to show you a few different formats that are really popular right now. So what's really taken off right now is the penny rounds seem to be pretty big right now. And we're starting to see them in all the different colors. You're starting to see them in the marbleized formats too as well. These look really neat on bathroom floors. Just kind of once again a throwback to the classic bathroom.
I love them. I do like using them. I think that sometimes, from my own experience, some clients are a little bit concerned, but I think they look beautiful.
What makes them concerned, Jessica?
I don't know. It's like I recommend them, and they prefer to go to the bigger format. Maybe they see they're small. I don't know, but I personally love the look of them.
I love the look, and I think it adds a lot of really nice texture to the room as well.
Me too. And I love that it has so many different colors.
Me too. A lot of different colors, a lot of different options. And you need to get the larger penny rounds too, not just the 1 inch you see right here.
Yeah, you have a couple of sizes there. I saw that.
Yeah, I've got the Saltillos right here. So there's a couple different sizes you can see.
There you go. Awesome.
So some other popular formats I'm seeing right now is your classic hexagon tile. You see a lot of this on your bathroom shower floors. And bathroom floors too, another classic look right there. 3D box mosaic right here. It's kind of more of a modern, youthful feel with that. And then we can go back to more of a classic look, the arabesque lantern look. That looks really nice on kitchen backsplashes.
It does. Very classic.
Then you've got the honeycomb, and then you've got the elongated hex right here as well. So something a little bit different, just to kind of create a little bit of interest in the space from your typical hexagon you see with the first one I just showed you. And then what we're really seeing big right now too is the pickets right here. These pickets are offered in a few different formats, so they do get versatility in that way. Looks really good on kitchen backsplashes, tub backsplashes. And then move on to the hexagons right here. Pretty much anything hexagon is big right now. Hexagons are offered in all sorts of colors, all different formats, so there's a lot to work with your needs there.
Yes.
And then your typical herringbone and chevron styles. These ones are shown in two different patterns. So this would be A and A, this would be A and B. This one's kind of flipped, if you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also do a herringbone mosaic mesh. You can flip it on its side, just do something a little different rather than that way.
Yes.
And then I'm also seeing, once again, the subway tiles, but I'm seeing a larger format subway tiles. These ones right here, the 4x16s. What these do is they just reduce the amount of grout lines in your room, making the space feel a little bit larger. If you're going to do them on a vertical horizontal stack, it's going to create a lot of vertical lines, making the ceiling feel a little bit larger, making the space feel a little bit larger too. And I'm seeing quite a bit of this into the new condos that are being built nowadays.
Very nice. Now, would you mind just going back again and pointing at the different names, starting with the penny rounds, and just kind of giving everyone the names, so when they go to Crestview Floors, they know what they're asking for?
For sure. So these right here, these are the penny rounds.
Mm-hmm.
These are just a 2-inch hex right here. This is just a 6x6 square tile, which is becoming really big right now too. The squares are coming back. I call this one the 3D cube.
Yep.
I call these, they're either an arabesque or a lantern.
Mm-hmm. Arabesque. Yep.
These are the honeycombs.
Okay.
These are the elongated hex. These are the pickets.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're back to the hexes again. This is just a larger format. This is a 6x6 hex. I've seen them all the way up to a 17x17 hexagon. So there's a lot of options there. And then I would call these just a 1-inch hex mosaic.
Yep.
And then this is a herringbone. I'd say 45 herringbone, but it could be called a herringbone straight leg too. So depending on how you look at it. These are the 2-inch hex. I've got the chevrons right here.
Yes.
And then I'm seeing a lot of these shells right now. My honest opinion, they're going to come in and go out really quick.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know.
For certain applications like little girls' bathrooms and stuff like that, they'd be great for. But other than that, I find it a fad right now that's going to come and go really quick.
Well, I trust your instinct. You guys are in the industry. You can see what's coming. You can see what they're producing, and you'll know what's coming down the pipe. So I trust that for sure. I love that you also talked about the different patterns of installation, and it gives us a good vision. You know, subway tiles, yes, they're classic, they're timeless, but they don't always have to be the horizontal installation. Like you said, they could be vertical. You can have it in the chevron style. There's so many different ways you can do the subway tiles, but use the handmade ones, use them in the monochromatic format, so many different ways that can be used and update your kitchen.
For sure, yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe one last question. I know we've talked about the large format and the different, patterns of installation and all that. As far as colors, would you say that, because you mentioned the monochromatic ones, would you say that, in generally speaking, that's where we're going as far as colors?
To a certain point. What I'm finding is people are using colors in certain features within their homes rather than doing the whole house in color. They just want a punch of color here and there up against a neutral, kind of a neutral base everywhere else. So it's just add a little bit of fun in your space rather than kind of covering the space is what I'm finding. So it's kind of between the colors and just monochromatic scheme.
And I would agree with that because, and that's what I tell my clients, when they're choosing more of these permanent features of the home, the permanent element, you want to give your home a more neutral canvas to work with, and then add color and small touches here and there that you can update without having to change everything. If you're going to paint the cabinet, maybe choose the more classic colors and do the island, for example, in a different color, but you don't have to do everything in the blue, for example, just to mention one. And same thing with the tiles. And you mentioned the word, the back of a niche, and I think that's an excellent way of bringing a pop of color without having to be, you know, overwhelmed with surrounded by patterns and different colors that you may get tired of.
Sure, yeah. Like, you might like it right now, but 5 years down the road and get a little bit overwhelming if the whole house is done in blue or red or something like that. So I think subtlety is the key here. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you wanted to add that I haven't covered with my questions?
I think we pretty much covered everything, Jessica. Thank you very much for having us today.
This has been awesome.
Yeah, if anybody's looking to get some information from Crestview Floors, you can check out our Instagram and Facebook pages. And if you want to swing by the store, we are open on Monday to Saturday. You can stop at the store at 3701 19th Street Northeast and ask for Cole. We'd be happy to help you.
Very good. And I do recommend everyone to follow your account because I always see all the different samples and mood boards that you put together. They're awesome and very, very inspirational. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica.
Have a very good day. Take care.
Thanks.